talk about one of the things that might be one of the most important philosophies that I follow. Yeah. You could easily argue that my entire martial journey has been fueled by the same philosophy, underlying throughout. In fact, really, it's permeating my entire existence. This is something that I find core, fundamental to who I am, what I do, and how I do it. And that is something that Maya Angelou once said. Now, I didn't know about this for a long time. She says it much better than perhaps it ever rolled around in my head. But Maya Angelou said, do the best that you can until you know better, and then do better. That's it. That's the core philosophy. All of the growth that I've had, all the changes that have come along the way, all of the things that have come and gone, easily they're based in this simple philosophy of not being afraid to do exactly what you can do. Whatever it is that you can do, do it that way. Don't be afraid that there might be a better answer. There is a better answer. Go find it. But in the meantime, follow the answer that you have and do it the best way that you know how. Get better at it. Continue to improve it. But when you learn something better, don't ever have blinders on. Don't ever close the shutters. I want you to see what's happening. When you learn something better, when you learn a better way, or you learn something that defeats something that you know, it invalidates something you believed, don't sweat the time that you spent on that. Instead, start to do better. Do it the new way you understand. Look at how that applies to you, how this new knowledge applies to the situation, and follow it. Integrate it. Chase it. What can you do? Where can you go? Where does this new knowledge take you? How does this new knowledge give you a new perspective on the things that you already know? How can this make things better? And if you know a better way to do it, now it's time to do it that way. There are times when we have things that they just fit different situations. So not every better way to do something is every better way to do something all the time. Sometimes you learn a better way to do things sometimes. And that's okay. Know the difference. Know when it's something where you need to get rid of the old way and you need to focus on how to continue to do it this new way strictly and consistently. And recognize the other times when this only applies sometimes and I still need that other way for those other times. And that is how you decide what you keep and what you get rid of. What you don't want to do is follow the sunk cost fallacy, the fallacy that says, I've invested so much in this way that I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep going this direction. I'm going to keep chasing this thing. I'm going to keep believing this because I've spent so much time and energy or money or whatever it is on this thing. And even though now that it's invalidated and I shouldn't chase it, I'm going to. Don't do that. Don't do that. Cut your losses. If you've lost this much, don't add to it and then lose all of that instead. We've been playing Go at the office. I've been sharing this game with people, and that's a thing that you watch happen. You see something bad happening, you know that it's lost, but you play it anyway, and then all of it's taken from you. And those moves that you could have made went to the wrong place, and then they were lost also. So don't do that. Chase the new thing. Be okay letting go of the old thing. Remember that it got you here. Some of your understanding of this new thing, this new perspective, came from the existence of the old thing. You wouldn't have had that perspective if it wouldn't have been there. So don't fight that. Don't sweat that. Don't be worried about it. Certainly don't be sad about it. It's okay. It's okay to move on. It's okay to go a different direction. In fact, I would say that part of just general training, at least in a traditional martial art, happens exactly this way. The whole Shu-Ha-Ri philosophy, link in the description for discussion about that, it entirely encapsulates this idea of learn a way, learn the things about it that can be modified or changed, and then maybe even create a new way to do it that follows those principles. So when you learn, sometimes you have to learn a way that is not the best way. It's not the way that you're going to do it. But until you can get these fundamental things down, you need to do it this way. You need to do it. A good example for mine, this one came up this week, is this eyes, feet, hands. This is something I've said very many times. Eyes, feet, hands. You need to first look where you're going, then your feet need to move there, then your hands need to do what your hands are going to do there. That is the order that things should happen. You should orient yourself, you should move yourself, and then you should do the thing. But the truth is, this is not entirely how things will work. In fact, the most powerful punch does not come from moving your feet, stopping, and then hitting. It comes from hitting while moving and while your mass is in motion. But until you can figure out how to do step A, step B, step C, doing them all as step A is really difficult. So we learn differently. But once you know better, then you can do better. You can do it that way now. And arguably, you might toss this in the back of your mind in case you want to share that with somebody else, but there's not a lot of reason to do it the old way anymore. That way you've outgrown. You don't need those clothes that don't fit anymore. It's time to get new ones that fit. It's time to move into the new you that knows better, that can do better, that's capable of more. So don't mourn the loss of something that once was. Instead, embrace the new thing, this new knowledge, this new perspective, this new way of understanding, and do better. Do the best that you can until you know better, and then do better.